The reason you can't score any points right now in Madden 26 is simply because you're using the wrong settings. Or worse, you're calling bad plays. But don't worry, by the end of this video, I'm going to solve both those issues and more with 5 secret tricks you need to master for an unstoppable offense here in Madden 26. The tricks get better and better as we go along, so you're not going to miss out on any of them. Let's jump right into it. That first secret trick you need is to start using the best offensive playbook in the game. Let me show you a secret one that's really good right now. Alright, so that playbook that I'm talking about here is the Washington Commanders playbook. Alright, mind you, I am using the Buffalo Bills to showcase this, but we're in the Commanders playbook. And the first play that I want to show you is this one Y out. And the reason why is because it's a one-play touchdown against cover 2 and cover 3 defenses. And it also does a great job against every defense in the game. So right here, obviously, they're going to be just in a regular cover 2 defense. And how does this help us? Well, all we have to do is reset the play here. We're going to put our tight end A on a shriek, and we're going to block our running back. Make sure we're using base protection as always, all right? And so really, you're looking for your skinny post to Brandon Cooks right here. To just, I mean, it's cover 2, right? And so then you're able to kind of speed boost away from some of these guys using the left trigger. But the reason why this works is look at your corner route here, right? You're going to see this man, the safety, is going to get pulled outside towards the sideline. That opens up the middle of the field, and so then we can just run our post route right here very, very easy versus like, if you didn't have that corner out, would the post still be open? It could be, but it wouldn't be as open, all right? Just because that safety would be able to come over to the middle of the field a little bit better and make that tackle. But now we're going to go ahead and put them just in cover 3 defense right here, because this is where the real magic kind of happens here, all right? So again, same route concept. We're going to take the snap once again, and we're going to just watch. You just need to pass that ball away from that defender, speed boost away from some of these guys, and now we're in the end zone for an easy touchdown. I want to look at the instant replay and again show you what makes this play so dangerous, all right? It's, again, the corner route. What does he do? He moves this outside third who should be there to guard the post. He moves him down and outside. He moves him towards the sideline, sucks him down, and then you see our post route just runs over the top. Using freeform passing would always make this a lot easier for you, because then you're able to lead this ball away from this safety who's standing in the middle of the field, and then you're able to turn that into an easy touchdown. And then lastly with this play, they're going to be in man coverage right here. This play is still dangerous because, again, it's able to beat every defense, right? All we're going to do, we're going to block our running back right here. We are going to take the snap, and you're just going to watch how that corner out runs, right? That safety is going to have a tough time actually guarding that corner out in that one-on-one coverage, even though he might be shaded outside, right? So again, we're going to put them in man coverage right here. This time we're going to have the slot corner manned up onto them. They're not going to be blitzing us right here, so we're going to have a little bit more time to throw, which also means you can look at your drag here to Palmer, but you're going to see right here where we're just going to pass that ball. Now, they had a curl flat there, so you never want to force anything, but if we look at the replay and see what really happened, right, you're going to see he's going to create this separation against 29 here, and then if there was no other defender there, obviously you could throw that. But this is why I say your drag is a great option as he runs across the field. But also, I had my post route wide open in the middle of the field. So, again, all 3 of those routes, the corner, the post, and the drag, do a great job against every single defense. And so that's why the Commanders playbook is like a secret hidden playbook that's really good, because this entire tight offset tight end formation's really good. They have bunch tight end. They have bunch strong offset. They have the ability to score in the red zone with gun heavy. Like, this is an entire meta playbook that no one talks about and no one uses. I don't know why, but you should be using it. All right, the next secret trick that's going to make your offense unstoppable is actually using the right offensive settings. Let me show you the best ones to use right now. All right, so we're going to put them in random defense here, but the first setting I want to show you is auto pass protection. You want to make sure that this is turned onto base, all right? And I'm going to show you why. So I'm actually going to turn it off right here, and you're going to see if I call this random play smash, right? You see this, perfect, great example. This play has built-in pass protection to have the line half slide to the left here. There's really no reason to do that. If you just use base protection with this play, you would be perfectly fine. And so that's what you want to do. But I'm going to show you what can happen. If a smart defensive player just overloads the left or the right side of the line, since you're shifting the other way, right? They put 4 guys over, onto this right side. You're just going to see how you're immediately going to get screamed at. Right? If they just go move over here, you're just going to see how that guy's going to walk in free and go, sack your quarterback in the backfield. Honestly, it could have been even worse than that. There's a lot of the time where I played this game where it's like, these guys I see kind of get chipped up right here, but it's like, if you half slide the wrong way, your line, you pay the price for it, because you have to think about it. They're blitzing off the right, you're half sliding to the left. That's never going to be a winning formula for you, all right? So we're going to come into just another blitz here, right, where again, they're going to have 4 guys on this right side. But you're going to see how, because we use base protection and we block our running back, you're just going to see how we're going to have much better protection here. Boom, step up in the pocket, and now we actually have room to take off with our quarterback and slide down in the open field if we want to. All right. So bottom line with that one, it's kind of a simple one. You just want to make sure that you're never allowing EA to set your pass protection, and the best way to do that is just to turn auto pass protection onto base so that you can get a fresh start. Now, if you need to half slide your line to the right or left, for example, you can still do that. But it's manual. It's not EA. Like, they don't know. They don't actually know what blitz your opponent's going to come out in when they set that pass protection. It's going to be like that every single play, regardless of what they're doing. So you always want to make sure you have auto base protection turned onto base. But the second setting that I want to show you right here, it's very crucial that you come into your game options, you make sure you have placement and accuracy turned on for your passing mechanics, all right? Essentially, what this is going to do is allow you to activate freeform passing, and then you want to have 8 out of 20 reticle speed turned on. So we're going to take an example right here. They're actually going to be in man coverage, and I'm going to throw this drag, right? And I want you to see how you are going to have to get rid of that ball. You need that ball to be out in front of your receiver just like that when you actually throw it to him. If that ball is behind him, especially in man coverage, there's going to be a chance where the defense has an opportunity to break on the pass. So right here, just kind of getting that ball out in front with freeform. And so again, all I'm doing, holding left trigger and then aiming the ball where I want it to be, out in front of the receiver, which would be to the left right there in that case. This is also very important for corner routes on the sideline, right? So if we just go ahead and have them run a cover 3, and you're just going to see street corner, right? And so we're going to try to throw this ball to Brandon Cooks, and you're just going to see how I'm going to get that ball out in front of him, and he's going to be able to possession catch that pass on the sideline or rack it if you want to. But being able to get the ball out in front of receivers is super, super important. So right here, we're actually going to, this might be a good example for us, the difference between the two. We're going to call man coverage right here. I'm not going to use freeform. I'm just going to press the button, and you see that ball is behind the receiver. Again, because I didn't use freeform, all I did was press Y, and so that ball is behind the receiver. It allows for the DB to actually go and make the play, and that's going to be a huge problem for you. So again, this time we're actually going to put them back into man coverage right here, and we are going to, let's see, no, I'll just blitz the safety. All right, we're just going to watch Brandon Cooks on his corner out. Again, you're never going to be able to complete every single pass guaranteed, but this will help you get the ball out in front of the receiver a little bit better. Now you're able to see, that's a perfect example. Now that ball is out in front of him towards the sideline, away from the defender, and so the defender has no chance to make a play and break on the ball and intercept it. So those are 2 very important offensive settings that if you're not using, you're probably losing games right now. Freeform passing, having it turned on and holding that left trigger when you're throwing the ball, and then using auto base protection to give your line the best possible blocking in the game. All right, if you found those first 2 secret tips helpful, go down below and hit that subscribe button. I break down offensive tutorials and tricks every single day here on Madden 26, and you're not going to miss out on any of them. But also, comment free in the comment section. I'll send you a free guide to dominate Madden 26 to help you out even more. Let's jump right back into it. All right, that next secret trick that I want to show you is the Playmaker. It's really a great way to salvage plays when the defense does a good job. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so we're going to come into a formation like normal wide off close. We're going to come into mesh spot, all right, and we are going to shade, or excuse me, they're going to shade their coverage down and use hard flats, all right? And so obviously we know that if they use hard flats, our drags aren't necessarily going to be open. If we just go ahead and take this snap right here, you're just going to see how they're going to do a good job on these drags, right? I mean, that's crazy. You throw the ball right at the guy, right? So he should be in a good spot to break on that pass and knock it away. We try again to the other side here, and oh well, they don't have hard flats on the field in this case. But you know, if they run hard flats in cover 3 or cover 4 defense, right, they're going to do a great job of just stopping your routes. All right, so really our answer to that is, again, they're going to call cover 3 right here. They're going to have hard flats. We're going to use the Playmaker, which again, how you use this is you have to hold left trigger or L2, and then you have to aim the right stick in the direction where you want the guy to go. So I'm going to try to do it right here. Now it's always going to Playmaker the nearest receiver, and so I want Shakir to be the one to Playmaker, right? So I'm just going to take the snap, hold left trigger, aim that right stick up, and you see how he runs up the field? Right, and now you're able to kind of speed boost. He's able to run up the field over the top of those defenders. And so again, why is this helpful? Because they played good defense. They called it good coverage. They had hard flats in the field, but now we're kind of just able to salvage our play by utilizing that Playmaker feature. So again, right here, mesh concept. They do a good job. I just Playmaker my tight end up right over their hook zones. And now look at all this room. And now we just have an easy touchdown. So again, a play and a rep that they won, we're able to really just completely change the outcome by simply holding left trigger and the right stick up to kind of aim our guy and Playmaker him. Now, if you're playing like MUT or franchise and you have like quarterback Playmaker or your receiver has Playmaker, right? That kind of makes it even better, just because he's going to be even more precise in where he's running. But really, regardless, this is super, super valuable, because even you think about some more crazy use cases for this, right? If you had a rollout scheme, right? Let's just say you called a play like this, right, where you're just trying to roll out here to this right side. Well, now they play good defense. Let's say they take away, but now you just roll out, Playmaker, that's a great example. Playmaker that man right over the top of Derwin James, the underneath defender, and then we just have a big gain up the sideline for, again, a big gain. And so, again, all you're trying to do with this is salvage plays. They play good defense. You kind of just Playmaker over the top. Now, don't get Playmaker happy, right? If they play bad defense against mesh, just hit your drag. Just throw that, right? That's all you got to do. So if they come down too far or they come down with their user, just Playmaker over the top of them. Or like I said, you can Playmaker back behind them, out in front of them. You can do Playmaker a lot of different ways depending on the defense that you see. But the most valuable use case is probably just when they shade their coverage down, Playmakering over the top of those zones by holding left trigger and aiming the right stick up at the same time. All right, before I jump into the final 2 secrets that you're absolutely not going to want to miss, again, I want to remind you to subscribe. I break down offensive tricks and tutorials just like this every single day on Madden 26. You're not going to miss out on any of them. Let's jump right back into it. All right, this is a question that I see all the time in my comment section and everywhere on the internet. BLT, how do you speed boost here in Madden 26? Let me show you exactly how I would like to do it. All right, so we're going to come into coaching. We're going to come into our depth chart here, and you're going to see you need a really good running back to be able to do this, right? You need a guy who has upper 90s or above 90 in agility, right? Change of direction, acceleration, speed. You just need a really elusive guy. Kind of probably you want him to be smaller as well. James Cook is a great example of this. He meets all the thresholds, and he's going to be great for this. So I'm in offense-only practice mode right now just so I can show you. But all you're really trying to do is that. Right, you're just going to get a little burst, and all you have to really do is tap the left trigger to get that boost. So again, really all I'm doing is I'm taking the snap, I'm already holding right trigger turbo to run, right, to run up the field, and then I'm just tapping left trigger while I'm aiming the left stick where I obviously want to run, which really the only added element that you have to add to this is tapping left trigger, because to run anyway, like probably what you're doing right now, you're already holding right trigger to run, and you're already holding your left stick where you want your player to go. So really the only thing you have to do now is just tap left trigger. So again, boom, and then when you see we're able to just speed boost out of there, speed boost, and some boosts are better than others, right? That's a really good one. That's kind of mid, that's kind of mid. So it's like sometimes you get better boosts than others, and you need to always try to make sure that you're changing directions too. You can't like speed boost like in the same direction all the time. So again, right here, I'm gonna take it. I wanna boost out this way. That was kind of a weak one, but that's a really good one. That's another really good one. That's another really good one, right? So those were some really good boosts. You can also chain up some of these moves together with like spins and jukes, especially if like you have like a running back who can juke and stuff, right? So take it again, boost out this way, spin back this way, boost, right? And you kind of get like, it's kind of like an ice skating effect that you get when you try to speed boost. So it's kind of a challenge to practice. I feel like I've practiced it a little bit here, gotten a lot better with it. I've had some crazy clips with it. Go ahead, play one editor that I sent you. So hopefully they played the clip there and you were able to see. That's kind of the craziness that you can get here with the speed boost. But I am going to change the practice type back to normal right here, just so we can get the defense on the field, because when you're actually in a game, it's a little bit different because you actually have to be reading blocks and then deciding where you're going. You can't just like immediately pick a lane like I'm kind of doing right, like I was doing earlier, right? So again, right here, we're going to take this snap. We're going to, and that time, when you get tackled in the back, oh, well, I guess I kind of put my controller down. I guess he was just going to break every tackle. So it's like your line has to set up blocks for you. All right here, I'm going to try to speed boost. That was kind of a weak boost, and so that player was kind of able to make a good play on me in the backfield. So sometimes you're just better off just running, right? Boom. That was a good one because we messed up the pursuit angle of that defender, and then there's really no reason to burst when you're in the wide open like that. That's the thing. You're able to actually mess up the pursuit angle right there of Derwin James when you speed boost. So again, right here, kind of a weak boost out of it, but then right here, boom, we're just able to boost away, and that messes up his pursuit angle and allows us to score. So again, right here, that time, that's a really great boost, and I actually had to boost because you see how that player just ran right in the backfield, so I had to speed boost away from him and then speed boost again once I got to the second level of the defense right here. So again, we take a look at this replay, handoff, boost away from this guy, make him miss, right, and then boost again and again to get away from 29. But you see how I changed directions. I went left, and then right here I go right, and now I'm out of there, and I don't have to speed boost anymore. So I feel like that's a good explanation of the speed boost. Again, you're just trying to read lanes, decide what you want to run, but just tap the left trigger when you're trying to run and change directions, and you're going to get that little speed boost. But again, you need a really good running back with high ratings to be able to do this, but it's a really overpowered tactic that everyone's using right now. All right, so that last secret trick that I want to show you is probably the best one. It's a way to make your RPOs really overpowered and unstoppable. Let me show you. All right, and so this play is RPO Zone Alert Omaha. Now, earlier in the year, you used to be able to take any bubble and hot route him to a flat, right? I mean, it was a little bit of a glitch, but you could pretty easily do it. Now they removed that on pretty much all these RPOs in this game, but this one in particular, from trips tight end, gun trip tight end flex. Right now I'm in the Steelers playbook. This is my Steelers offensive ebook. You can go to the link and the channel page and you can check it out, or you can go to the link in the corner, bltforlife21.com. But right, we're just gonna put DK Metcalf on a flat. This is way better than putting him in a bubble because he breaks out to the flat so much sooner. Now, you could, when you pair this up with like, you know, being on the wide side of the field and not in the middle of the field. So I'm going to put the ball on the wide side right here, and you're just going to see, boom, oh, that's the bubble, which the bubble can work. Don't get me wrong. Like, the bubble can be valuable. As we know, it's good in a lot of other, you know, formations. But when we put him on this flat, and you also have the freedom to hot run him to any route. So you could really just put him on a streak. Like right there, no one's lined up over top of him. So if that's the case, just put him on a streak and snap the ball, right? But if someone's lined up over the top of him, then just put him on a flat, like right here, right? Just put him on a flat. He's going to break out to the flat way sooner, and that's going to basically allow for your blocks to set up really well, and then you're going to be able to just score or pick up a lot of yards. So again, right here, flat route, and actually right here, he's manned up. Which when he's manned up, that makes it honestly even better. Good play by 29 right there. But when he's manned up, because then he has that defender who's manned up onto him has a chance to run into certain blocks, right? But right here, we just throw our flat out there. Again, it's an RPO, so blocks have to set up. But if you really want to change it up too, again, you have full freedom. You could just put him on a drag, snap the ball, and immediately throw it to him just like that, right? So that's kind of the trick, is hot routing your RPOs to put him on flats, to put him on drags, to put him on shrieks, and then you kind of take advantage of it from there, right? So right here, I'd probably just put him on a flat, hike the ball, and then you're able to see we're going to be able to turn that into just a big gain after we break some tackles. So it's kind of a simple one. This is one of the only RPOs I would probably just get in the lab myself and find some other ones. But from Trips Tight End Flex, the play is called RPO Zone Alert Omaha. It might also be in like Trips Tight End Flex as well, one that's similar. But if you can find an RPO where you can hot route your man, like who's on a bubble, hot route him to a flat, hot route him to a drag, hot route him to a shriek, you can really start to pick up easy gains out there. We're certainly not going to end on that one right there. One more time here. Boom, take it. Well, they're in man coverage, but and he drops that one. So we shall go again. Of course, they want to suck when I'm about to end it. Boom. There we go. Good catch, DK. So you can see how valuable this can be versus just calling a bubble. Bubbles are easier to defend just because everyone, I talk about RPO defense all the time, but when you can play on their, overcommitment, when you put them on a shriek or you put them on a flat, that's going to be very valuable for you and make your RPOs way better. All right, so if you enjoyed that video, of course, don't forget to go down below and subscribe. I break down offensive tips and tricks just like this every single day on Madden 26. You're not going to miss out on any of them. But if you want to check out 5 secret tricks to help you out on defense here in Madden 26, check out this video. I'll see you over there.